Hey Booktubers, it's Ashley at Bookish Realm, and I am back with another video. Today's video is going to be based on a Booktube discussion. As you guys know, I've been doing some Booktube discussions, and on my last Booktube discussion, I was asking viewers if they would like to see more of those, and I generally got a positive response from that. So today I decided to do a Booktube discussion, and it is going to be focused on libraries. Okay, so I've been spending a lot of time in my local library just checking out stuff and spending time online and putting stuff on reserve. So in spending all that time at the library, I decided just to do some research on Booktube just to kind of like look around, etc. And what I generally notice is that library hauls do not receive as much attention as hauls from book outlets, book depository, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Half Price Books, whatever, wherever people buy their local books from. And I did not understand that. I do not get why buying a book or watching people buy books instead of maybe borrowing them from the library is viewed at a higher rate than the opposite. So what I kind of wanted to address is I wanted to encourage everyone to check out your local library. Some people can't necessarily afford to purchase books as frequently as others. I know that, for instance, my library has become a great resource in terms of space for me. I really should not be buying more books right now because I do not have the adequate amount of space to hold on to all these books, but I still want to be able to check out new material or material that has been on my TBR, and I'm really interested in reading that information. However, it doesn't make sense for me to go out and purchase those items at the moment. For some people, it could be financial reasons. They may have to dedicate their money and finances to other things besides purchasing books, which are a luxury. And I think that's something that we take for granted, that everybody in the world does not have accessibility to books the way that some of us have been privileged to be able to do. So people may not have the finances to do it, so the library may be their only option. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go out and buy books, because clearly I have bought all these books behind me. Granted, most of the time I do not buy my books full price unless it's a new release that I've really been wanting just for financial purposes, but still, there's nothing wrong with using the library. I think there is this common tendency to look down on the fact that someone may be borrowing books from the library, and it may not even be something that's conscious. You may not even realize that you're doing it. It's kind of you see a library haul, you kind of move past it or you scroll past it, but as soon as you see a book outlet haul, it is bam, like hundreds and hundreds of views, which I think is extremely interesting because it's the same books. They're the same exact books by the same exact authors. It's just that at some point you have to return the book. And sometimes libraries can be very beneficial in checking out a new author. What I've noticed is that sometimes, and even with some of these books I have to go through sometime soon, there have been books by authors that I have purchased and I read the first book and I'm totally like, oh no, I can't do this. I don't like their writing style. I don't think I could really get into them. This is just not something that I see myself reading in the future. Had I possibly checked out the book from the library first, I would have known that without having to waste my money. It would have been easier for me to have read the book first from the library and then maybe go back and purchase my own copy. It's the same thing in a book, or an example that I just read was Ray Carson's A Girl of Fire and Thorns. I've never read any books by Ray Carson before. I had no idea what her writing style was like. I didn't even know if I was going to like the book. I just happened to be scrolling through my local library's list of books, and A Girl of Fire and Thorns had been available. There were 2 copies available. Nobody was checking them out. They weren't on hold. And I knew that I had that book on my TBR for a while. So I clicked it, I checked it out, and I absolutely loved the book. I love Ray Carson's writing. I love the characters. And now I can effectively say, okay, well, I've read that book, I got it from the library. If I continue to like the series from the library, then maybe one day I'll go out and I'll buy my own personal copies that I can have, something that I know that I am going to reread, or something that I know that I'm going to revisit, something that I want as a part of my collection. It's just economically savvy to use the library as a resource. Another thing is that I think Booktube kind of influences us to purchase books. We want to have as many books as the next booktuber, and I'm here to tell those individuals who feel that way, don't feel that way. Don't be ashamed of the fact that you may not have as many books as someone else, or you cannot purchase as many books as someone else. You can probably still have access to that information. Use your local library. Yes, some of the newer titles, it may be a little bit more difficult. You may have to wait a little bit longer because everybody's going to want to check out the newer titles. But in the same respect, at least you're getting the opportunity to read it. And I think that's where we fail, is that we should be grateful that we even have access to these books to begin with, because there are some people who don't have access to these books at all. Regardless of libraries or economical reasons, they just don't have access at all. So I think that is something to really take into account. The next reason why I really use my local library, and why I think it's beneficial to use your local library, is for graphic novels, comics, and manga. If you guys do not know, graphic novels and comics and manga are not cheap to be such quick reads. They are just a few dollars short of a hardcover book, sometimes even more expensive than a hardcover book, and they can be read in an hour and a half. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have $25 to drop for every new graphic novel that comes out. It's not realistic for me. So a lot of the times I actually use my local library as a resource for checking out graphic novels, comics, and manga. It saves me a lot of money, and there have been graphic novels that I have read from the library and I'm like, ooh, it's alright, but I don't think I would have paid cover price for this. I just read one of those, actually, Pretty Deadly. It was okay, but I would have not wanted to fork out in between $10 to $15 for a graphic novel that I was just kind of about. So I'm glad that I saved myself money by checking out from the library. So with that being said, I actually wanted to show you guys that I have picked up some really good content from the local library, just so you guys can see how great some of this stuff can be. And I am extremely sorry if your library doesn't have as many materials as maybe another library, but they do have an interlibrary loan system. Ask about it. If one library doesn't have a specific text or book that you want, maybe they can get it from another library. They can request it, and then all you have to do is go to your local library and pick it up, and then you return it back to them, and they take care of all the hard work. So where there is a will, there is a way. And without further ado, here is my small library haul. First book that I checked out from the library is a manga, and it's called Nana by Ayazawa, and it is the story of two girls by the same name. Both of them are Nana, and I saw part of the anime for this, and I just got really interested in it, so I thought I would pick this up to see if I like the manga just as much as I was enjoying the anime. The next one that I picked up is another graphic novel, and it is Embroideries by Marjane Satrapi. This is the same author of Persepolis. I was going to use this as my Around the World Challenge book. As you can see, this is the artwork. It's the same artwork that she kind of used in the other one that she has. I had a copy up there somewhere. I don't know where it is. But I'm not too sure what this is about. I just love Persepolis, so I decided to pick this up. The next one that I decided to get is Fruits Basket Volume 2 by Natsuki Takaya. You guys know that I definitely read Volume 1 earlier this month, and I loved it so much that I had to go ahead and pick up Volume 2. The next one that I have here is Miss Marvel Volume 2. This is Generation Y. This picks up where Volume 1 left off. Talking about Kamala, who is the new Miss Marvel character. I thought the first volume was a good introduction to the series, so I'm definitely looking forward to picking up this volume as well. Now, these next two books are definitely reasons why I appreciate the library, because I haven't been able to find any copies of these anywhere else, and I didn't have to pay for them, and each one of these is like $25. So I'm getting the chance to read them, except it's for free. So the first one I have here is The Arrival by Sean Tan, and this is a graphic novel told solely in pictures about immigration. And I will show you some of the artwork in here just to show you how beautiful it is. So this is a really, really beautiful graphic novel, just to kind of give you a feel of how detailed all this artwork is. And there are absolutely no words. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this, because I've never read a graphic novel like this before, and I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. The last book that I have here is The Encyclopedia of Early Earth, which is a graphic novel by Isabel Greenberg. I have been looking for this one for a while, and I was so happy to see that my library finally got it. It literally is exactly what it says. It is an encyclopedia of what happened during early Earth. This is kind of what the artwork looks like. I'm truly excited to make my way through this one. I've heard great things about it. It has a high rating on Goodreads, and I'm definitely looking forward to diving into this world and really getting a glimpse into what this story is all about. Alright guys, that's it from my discussion and my library haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. In the comments below, let me know if you use your local library. Do you want to use your local library more, or do you kind of just stay away from your local library? I would really love to hear your thoughts. As always, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Make sure you click the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me. I try to upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And as always, I hope everyone has a wonderful evening.